Welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, right? That really frustrating one where you finally drift off, and then maybe an hour or two later, bam, you're wide awake again. Bladder's insisting.
Oh, yeah. Getting up multiple times during the night, that's nocturia. And if you're dealing with it, well, you are definitely not alone.
It's so common, and the source material we've been digging into for this deep dive, it focuses right on this issue, especially for folks who might be managing conditions like, say, diabetes or various kidney
All
problems.
right, situations where nocturia can feel less like an annoyance and more like a major disruption to getting any kind of restful sleep.
Exactly. It impacts everything, doesn't it? Energy, mood.
Your whole well-being, really.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting about the material we looked at. It tackles this, but through diet, specifically looking at people navigating diabetes and kidney health.
Yeah, and the core idea, it's actually pretty straightforward, isn't it? That certain vegetables, like everyday ones, might naturally help out.
Mhm. Help support the kidneys, balance fluids, maybe even regulate blood sugar a bit better.
And the thinking is, if you address those underlying things, maybe you can cut down on those nighttime bathroom trips. Finally get some solid sleep.
It sort of reframes these common foods, not just healthy, but functional, actively helping the systems involved in fluid and glucose balance.
Which are key players, and you're talking nocturia in the context of diabetes or renal issues.
Absolutely.
So, our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack what our source material says about three specific vegetables. We want to look at how they supposedly work to help with nocturia, particularly for this group.
What makes them potentially effective, according to the source, and maybe some practical ways it suggests getting them into your diet.
Okay, so the three headliners are cucumbers, zucchini, and spinach.
That's right. Each one brings something a little different to the table based on the source material, but all aimed at kidney support, fluid balance, blood sugar regulation.
All roads leading towards potentially easing that nocturia.
Exactly.
All right, let's dive in then. First up, cucumber. Now, most of us probably think, cool, refreshing, good in a salad, maybe G&T garnish.
Ah, right. But the source material presents it as, well, a really valuable ally if you're diabetic and struggling with nocturia.
Mm.
It highlights things like being pleasant, super hydrating, and importantly, having a very low carbohydrate load.
Okay, low carb and hydrating. How do those simple things help here?
Well, the source points out that for managing diabetes, stable blood sugar is just paramount, right?
Hmm.
Cucumbers barely move the needle on blood sugar because they have so few carbs, so that supports stability, avoids those spikes.
Okay, that makes sense. And the hydration part. We all need water, but what's special here?
The source emphasizes that cucumber hydrates without putting extra strain on the kidneys. And if you have diabetes, your kidneys might already be under stress from fluctuating blood sugar. So gentle hydration is key.
Right, you want to support them, not overload them.
Precisely. Good hydration helps overall kidney health, helps manage blood sugar, and it aids the body in flushing out toxins. Gently.
Supporting that natural filtering process.
Exactly. And then the source brings up something interesting. Cucumbers' inherent diuretic qualities.
Diuretic, like makes you go, isn't that counterintuitive?
You'd think so, but the source describes it as very mild, very natural. Not like a strong medication. It's more about helping the body gently manage and eliminate excess fluid and waste more efficiently throughout the day.
Ah, okay. So it's about better balance during the day to prevent buildup at night.
That seems to be the idea presented, promoting a more balanced fluid retention rather than accumulation that triggers nighttime urges.
And it's not just water, is it? The source mentions salt, too.
Yes, good point. It highlights cucumbers helping regulate salt levels. We know high sodium often leads to fluid retention.
Which definitely makes nocturia worse.
Right. So, by helping the body excrete excess sodium, cucumbers contribute to a healthier fluid balance. And this is particularly important, the source notes, for diabetics, because unstable blood sugar can worsen fluid retention, think swelling or edema.
So cucumbers might help reduce that swelling, too.
The source suggests they can, acting as that mild, natural diuretic.
Okay, so we've got gentle hydration, mild fluid management, salt regulation, fighting swelling. Anything else?
Yeah, the source also mentions they're rich in anti-inflammatory compounds and antioxidants, flavonoids, tannins, stuff like that.
Why is that relevant here?
Because chronic inflammation and oxidative stress are often linked with diabetes. They can damage cells, contribute to long-term complications, including kidney damage. So the antioxidants offer a kind of protective benefit.
Okay, so summing up cucumber for nocturia, based on the source. Natural mild diuretic, helps manage water retention, gentle hydration for kidney support, and anti-inflammatory benefits relevant to diabetes.
That captures it well.
And how does the source suggest using them? Just munching on slices?
Pretty much. A simple cucumber salad is one suggestion. Just wash, slice them up, toss with olive oil, lemon juice, bit of salt, maybe pepper.
Sounds easy and refreshing. Quick, hydrating, gets nutrients in.
Exactly. And the lemon adds brightness. Olive oil adds healthy fat.
What else?
Cucumber-infused water. Super simple. Just add slices to your water pitcher.
Oh, I like that idea. Gives water a little something without sugar.
Right. A great alternative to sugary drinks that spike blood sugar and stress the kidneys. This encourages hydration all day without that metabolic hit.
Good point.
And you can add mint leaves, too, the source suggests, for extra cooling and maybe some digestive help. Very refreshing.
So cucumber's way more than just a salad ingredient, according to this source. A potential tool for managing nocturia through hydration, fluid balance, and kidney support.
That's the takeaway. Okay, next up, the source material highlights zucchini.
Ah, zucchini, another common one. What's its angle here?
The source describes it as mild-flavored, really versatile, also hydrating, provides fiber, and offers key kidney support. Again, all contributing to potentially reducing nocturia, especially in the diabetes context.
Okay, sounds promising. What's the star feature for zucchini, according to the source?
A big one mentioned is its low glycemic index.
Like cucumber.
Similar principle, yes. It means zucchini releases glucose slowly into the bloodstream. No sudden spikes. This is crucial for diabetics needing stable glucose control. Those spikes put stress on the kidneys, which connects back to nocturia risk.
Right, stable blood sugar equals less kidney burden. Does fiber play a role too?
Absolutely. Zucchini's got a good amount of dietary fiber. The source explains this helps digestion, yes, but also slows down sugar absorption.
Double benefit for blood sugar control then.
Exactly. And like cucumber, it has high water content.
For that gentle hydration again?
Yep. Helps keep you hydrated without overwhelming the kidneys. Helps maintain healthy fluid levels during the day.
And does it help with salt, like cucumbers?
The source suggests it does, that water content helps flush excess sodium. Remember, sodium retention often worsens fluid imbalances, swelling, and that frequent urge to go. Zucchini helps counteract that.
Okay, interesting. The source also emphasized zucchini and electrolyte balance. What's that about?
This is really key. Electrolytes, potassium, sodium, magnesium, they're vital for managing fluid balance in your body's cells. The source points out that maintaining this balance is critical for diabetics because blood sugar swings can mess with kidney function and fluid retention.
And zucchini helps how?
It's particularly rich in potassium, according to the source. Potassium works sort of opposite to sodium. It helps regulate blood pressure and supports healthy kidney function. Better kidney function means more efficient filtering, potentially fewer nighttime trips.
So it's helping maintain that delicate electrolyte balance needed for proper fluid control.
Precisely. The potassium helps the body manage sodium more effectively.
So let's recap zucchini based on the source. Hydrating, fiber for blood sugar, potassium-rich for electrolyte balance, and kidney support.
All working together to manage fluid levels, support kidneys, control blood sugar, and hopefully reduce nocturia.
Makes sense. How does the source suggest eating it, besides just grilling it?
One popular suggestion mentioned is making zucchini noodles zoodles.
Ah, yes, the spiralizer trend. Low-carb pasta alternative.
Exactly. The source highlights them as low-calorie, low-carb, but high-fiber. Just spiralize, give them a quick sauté with olive oil, garlic, maybe some herbs like basil or oregano.
Sounds like a good base for a meal. Or a side dish. Supports blood sugar while giving you fluids and nutrients.
For sure. Another easy one is roasting. Cut into rounds or half moons, toss with olive oil, salt, pepper, roast at around 400 Fahrenheit, 200 Celsius for maybe 20 minutes until tender and golden.
Simple and tasty. The source says you can add Parmesan or herbs near the end.
Yep, adds extra flavor. A good way to get hydration and nutrients.
And adding it to soups.
Right. The source notes it adds substance and hydration, blends in easily. Just a simple way to boost your vegetable intake and support that kidney and fluid balance.
Okay, so zucchini, another versatile player offering hydration, electrolyte balance, and blood sugar support for nocturia management based on our source.
That's the picture painted.
All right, finally, let's talk spinach. The source calls this one a superfood.
It does. Nutrient-dense is the term used, packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. A foundational part of a healthy diet, generally speaking.
But how does it specifically help with diabetes and nocturia, according to the source?
The source connects it directly to helping control blood sugar and reducing frequent urination.
How does it do that? What are the key nutrients involved?
Magnesium comes up first. The source emphasizes its importance for blood sugar control because it's essential for proper insulin function.
Insulin sensitivity, right,
Mhm.
helping cells respond better to insulin.
Exactly. In type 2 diabetes, that sensitivity is often reduced. The source suggests magnesium, like you get from spinach, might improve it, helping normalize blood sugar. It also notes magnesium can help with related things like fatigue or muscle cramps.
And the source mentioned a direct link to the bladder, too.
Yes, it suggests magnesium might help minimize bladder sensitivity, potentially reducing that nighttime urge.
Interesting. What else? Fiber again?
Yep, fiber's back. Like in zucchini, spinach fiber slows glucose absorption, preventing those sharp blood sugar spikes and drops. And the source really drives home the point. Stable blood sugar means less work for the kidneys.
Because they aren't constantly trying to filter out excess sugar.
Precisely. High sugar makes kidneys work overtime, leading to more urine. Steady levels mean less kidney strain, less frequent urination, especially helping with nocturia worsened by uncontrolled levels.
Makes sense. Antioxidants, too.
Definitely. The source highlights vitamins C and E in spinach. These help fight chronic inflammation. Inflammation is common in diabetes and can interfere with how your body uses insulin. Reducing it helps lower the risk of long-term complications, kidney issues, nerve damage, cardiovascular problems.
So protecting the kidneys from inflammatory damage, that seems crucial.
It really is. And speaking of kidney support, the source brings up potassium again, like in zucchini.
To counterbalance sodium.
Exactly. Excess sodium causes water retention, worsening urination frequency. Spinach is rich in potassium, which helps the body fight sodium's effects, assisting the kidneys in maintaining fluid balance.
The source really emphasizes this sodium-potassium balance for fluid control and bladder health.
It seems central to the argument, yes.
Does spinach hydrate too? It seems leafy, not watery like cucumber.
Surprisingly high water content, actually. The source notes this adds to overall hydration, which maybe counterintuitively can lessen excessive nighttime urination and combat dehydration, sometimes seen in diabetes due to high blood sugar.
Okay. And did the source mention diuretic properties for spinach?
It mentions phytonutrients with mild diuretic qualities. Again, gentle support for fluid balance without causing excessive urine. The source is clear it's not like a strong drug, but it aids the kidneys and promotes a more balanced urination frequency, helpful for nocturia.
And let's circle back to fiber one last time, how it helps the bladder.
By balancing blood sugar, the source explains, fiber prevents those swings that force the kidneys into overdrive filtering glucose. Consistent blood sugar equal less urine production overnight.
Gotcha. And finally, weight control.
Right. Spinach is very low calorie. The source points out that managing weight is often crucial for controlling blood sugar and reducing complication risks, including nocturia.
Wow, okay. Spinach really does seem like a powerhouse according to the source. Blood sugar control via magnesium and fiber, kidney support via potassium, anti-inflammatory action, even potential bladder benefits.
It covers a lot of bases relevant to nocturia in this context.
How does the source recommend eating it? Salads?
Raw is great, yes, salads, smoothies, but the source makes an interesting point about cooking it.
Oh.
It says cooking, steaming, boiling, sautéing actually improves the absorption of some key nutrients, like iron and calcium, makes them more bioavailable.
So cooking unlocks more of its power, in a way.
For certain minerals, yes, so both raw and cooked have their places.
Okay, so we've covered cucumbers, zucchini, and spinach, really digging into what our source material suggests about them.
And pulling it together, the source presents them as offering this powerful combination of benefits, doesn't it? Blood sugar control, kidney support, fluid balance, anti-inflammatory effects.
All drawn directly from the source material, and all aimed at potentially reducing that frequent nighttime urination, especially if you're managing diabetes or kidney concerns.
Yeah, the perspective seems to be that just incorporating these specific, readily available vegetables could be a straightforward and natural way to manage the problem.
And maybe, just maybe, get more of that precious, uninterrupted sleep.
The source frames them as having science-proven benefits, particularly tailored for the challenges faced by this group dealing with nocturia.
So if those nighttime bathroom trips are really getting you down, impacting your sleep and how you feel during the day,
Then maybe exploring these natural approaches, as discussed from our source material, is worth considering.
think about how you might weave more cucumbers, zucchini, or spinach into your meals. Maybe try some of those simple ideas the source suggested.
It's really about using food strategically, based on the evidence presented,
Yeah.
to support your body's natural processes.
Right. And here's a final thought to leave you with as we wrap up this deep dive. How else might simple, everyday food choices, when we look at them through evidence-based sources like the one we explored today, offer surprising natural support for complex health challenges?
It makes you think, doesn't it? There could be a lot of potential hidden in plain sight on our plates.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into the source material. Thanks so much for joining us.